And we need to also see Bitcoin decouple from Ethereum, in my humble opinion. Case in point, coming from the Bitcoinist, Iranian, Venezuelan OpenSea users blocked from NFT platform over Russia's attacks on Ukraine. Accounts belonging to OpenSea users with Iranian IP addresses have been canceled in the face of a growing debate regarding international sanctions and Russia's attack on Ukraine. As pressure mounts on large cryptocurrency exchanges such as Coinbase, Kraken, and Binance to restrict access to their platforms to all Russian users and financial entities, other major participants in the crypto sector are also heeding the warning and addressing possible flaws in their sanctions adaptation measures. Not only cryptocurrency exchanges are impacted by this issue, OpenSea, an NFT marketplace based in the United States, has likewise had to respond to the shift in focus to digital assets. Iranian users blocked. According to various accounts from collectors and artists who have recently been unable to access their service, OpenSea began barring Iranian users on Friday. Numerous dissatisfied traders resorted to Twitter to express their indignation over the surprise measures. A spokesman for OpenSea verified that it does indeed ban users from sanctioned territories. Quote, OpenSea prohibits individuals in areas on the United States sanctions list from accessing our services, including purchasing, selling, or transferring NFTs on OpenSea. The marketplace representative told CoinDesk in a statement. Quote, we have zero tolerance policy for sanctioned individuals or entities, as well as those residing in sanctioned nations, end quote, the spokesman added. I feel like I don't have to, you guys already know how I feel about this, right? Or do we have to go into it, right? Do we have to go into how this is against the fundamentals of cryptocurrency, against the fundamentals of Bitcoin, and is a direct attack on decentralization, and therefore not a good thing? And we should not utilize OpenSea. It's time to liquidate all the NFTs, move off that platform. Tell them, no, we're not going to support this. Look, I get it. 80% of the users on OpenSea of NFTs are on OpenSea. And I get that 100% almost of the NFT participants do not give a crap about anything more than making money. So is there a likelihood of this actually taking place, of a shift of the public saying, no, we want decentralized non-fungible tokens? Probably not. But in an idealistic world, and you can keep calling me ideal in the comments, that's fine. No, this is not okay. Venezuela, not spared. Armin, an OpenSea user from Iran, also reported receiving an error 404 when attempting to visit the marketplace. And Arafeh, is that right? Narozi said that their verified account was taken down without reason earlier Friday. Meanwhile, developer tool Infura, which helps create decentralized applications like trading platforms and games, has blocked access in Venezuela. As a result, Metamask, one of the most popular wallets and interface tools for users to connect with such applications, has become unusable. Metamask indirectly confirmed the suspicion in a blog post updated at 12 o'clock Eastern time, stressing how users in specific sanctioned areas may receive error messages when attempting to access the wallet. Now, I was retweeting about the MetaMask problem. It does get, there is a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel here. There seems to be specifically a tie between Infura and MetaMask that is causing this, where Infura is imposing the sanctions, MetaMask necessarily isn't, and you can go in there and change where you're connecting, etc. for MetaMask. So there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. We're going to get into a little bit more detail from this CoinDesk article that was posted last night. Crypto industry sanctions woes on full display in MetaMask's Venezuela hiccup. Crypto observers cried foul Thursday when reports surfaced on Reddit that MetaMask, the gateway for many to the world of Ethereum, was made inaccessible to users in Venezuela. The truth of the matter, however, was that Infura, the infrastructure service also owned by Ethereum conglomerate Consensys, had imposed new geo-blocks Thursday, but applied them too broadly according to their series of tweets. The mistake has been rectified, Infura said, but not before critics levied claims that the episode revealed a point of failure in what is widely billed as the uncensorable internet. And it is. So here's the deal. At the end of the day, what they just showed was their hand, right? At the end of the day, what we know for certain is that Ethereum is censorable, right? The products, the services offered, that are built on top of Ethereum are clearly censorable, and it's a problem. And there's no way around that. Infura closely monitors changes to U.S. sanctions programs announced by the Office of Foreign Assets Control and narrowly tailors its internal controls to comply with the law, a Consensys spokesperson told CoinDesk via email. Quote, currently those regions are Iran, North Korea, Cuba, Syria, and the Crimea, Donetsk, and Luhansk regions of Ukraine. So they're even shutting down certain regions in Ukraine. Infura's blockade of these regions comes as regulators ramp up intense scrutiny of the crypto industry's compliance with sanctions imposed by the U.S. and other national authorities against Russian entities. Regulators and lawmakers like U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren, of course, and German Finance Minister Christian Lindner, of course, have said that they're concerned crypto could be a tool used to undermine sanctions. Now, here's what they're concerned of. It's a tool to undermine the war machine. That's what it's a tool to do. Industry participants such as exchanges have said they will block sanctioned individuals, but for the most part, they have not blocked entire nations outright. Metamask accesses the Ethereum blockchain through Infura by design. Unless altered by users, Metamask's default endpoints make it subject to Infura's geographic no-go zones. Crypto Twitter was reminded of that reality Thursday after Infura mistakenly threw too wide a dragnet. Rumors swirled over complete blockade to Venezuela. Commentators alleged incorrectly that Metamask had been barred in a country where crypto booms and where the U.S. has imposed long-standing but not absolute sanctions. Quote, in changing some configurations as a result of the new sanction directives from the United States and other jurisdictions, we mistakenly confirmed the settings more broadly than they needed to be, Infura said Thursday in a tweet. Yeah, but you can still do it. Infra acknowledged the uproar, apologized for its oversight, and said service had been restored to inadvertently impacted regions, though it did not name Venezuela. Metamask parroted the apology in its own tweet, explaining it relies on Infura for access to the blockchain. So what you do have to take into account here is that it's like an entity behind Metamask, not necessarily Metamask. So Metamask is still a decentralized tool. Kieran Daniels, CEO of crypto startup Smart DeFi, told CoinDesk in a Twitter message, it's just their default connections aren't. So basically, users are able to set their own endpoints by going into app settings, Metamask said in a tweet. It shared a guide on how to do so. We'll be covering this guide on the channel for you guys. It's on my list to do, and we'll go over it and make a video guide too, because I think it's important. Sanctions season. Coming amid a global debate on crypto and sanctions, the episode highlighted the seemingly conflicting realities of running uncensorable financial services through centralized rails. Companies like Infura provide crucial developer and infrastructure services to an array of Ethereum-based projects, but it's also a U.S. company subject to federal law. When Infura implements restrictions, as it did on Thursday, the ripple effects are felt far and wide. Quote, as a centralized entity funded by investors like JP Morgan, infrastructure providers like Infura are subject to regulatory concerns, end quote. Josh Neuroth, CEO of decentralized cloud services company Anchor, said in a statement, quote, "This over-reliance on centralized service providers goes against everything that Web3 stands for and is meant to be, and represents a central point of failure that shouldn't exist in the first place," end quote, and amen. All right. Anchor Incorporated is itself a U.S. company. When asked if this meant Anchor must also follow sanction directives from U.S. Treasury Department, Neurath said yes. Here's the but. Quote, "But the team is working as quickly as possible towards transitioning to a protocol that exists in the network and isn't run by a company, but a DAO," end quote. All right. I'm going to hold you to that, mister. I'm going to hold Anchor to that. The confusing chain of events on Thursday was only made more so by a repeatedly updated troubleshooting page on Metamask's website. When CoinDesk first reported on this story, that page was headlined, quote, "Why Metamask and Infura cannot serve certain areas," end quote, fueling a speculation that Metamask was itself implementing blocks. A later update narrowed the headline to Infura. Quote, "By default, Metamask accesses the blockchain via Infura, which is unavailable in certain jurisdictions due to legal compliance," end quote, the page read late Thursday. Quote, "When you attempt to use Metamask in one of those regions," end quote, "users will receive an error message." A chorus of commenters on Twitter insisted that the whole ordeal was proof that Metamask was not quite as decentralized as they thought. They're obviously changing their headlines from their own website too, to basically move the blame from themselves over to Infura, because it clearly sounds like they did have a discussion with Infura. To me. Okay. And shifting the blame isn't going to go unnoticed. Okay. I want to make that clear. I want to make clear to MetaMask right now that shifting the blame does not give you a free pass. We saw what you were trying to do. We're pretty certain that what was posted on your website was accurate at a given time. And therefore, there is a loss of trust in using your product. Left unsaid was the fact that Infura and therefore MetaMask have long followed OFAC sanctions guidance. Crypto users in Iran, North Korea, Cuba, and Syria were excluded well before those parts of Ukraine. It's really going to come down to essentially, and look, I'm going to have the opinion, I understand that I have the opposite opinion of pretty much everybody else on crypto, everybody else within the cryptocurrency influencer space. And I think that in general, regardless of if you agree with the opinion or not, the discussion of it is paramount when we're discussing cryptocurrency. And look, like, unfortunately, it just looks like I get to be the one that takes these positions. Regardless, you could say I'm playing devil's advocate. I don't think so. I truly believe what I'm saying. But I also expect disagreement. All right. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.